welcome back YouTubes. We're here for game 2, Rogue versus Splyce. Without further ado, if you're only just tuning into this one, make sure you go check out the last one where we kind of talked expectations and stuff for the first game. Now we're going to go into the second draft, Rogue versus Splyce. So again, Rogue get blue side. In Europe, how it works is the losing team gets side selection. So Splyce get choice of red. They chose red. So, Gangplank Zaya Shen, exactly the same as last time. Olaf Yumi Kiana. This means that the Sejuani is available, but Rogue don't bother. They'll insta-lock the Akali, because that's the priority. Splyce answer with Kai'Sa Sylas again. Really high priority on this Sylas for Splyce. They consider it to be really strong, but again, not effective early game jungler, but considering they've gone Kai'Sa, probably not so focused on early game anymore. Rogue immediately answer with Sejuani Aatrox. So this draft is already super strong for Rogue. It is already very strong. They have two very powerful solo laners, both are very easy to play around, especially once Sejuani hits level 6. You can play split push, both of them are strong in team fights, like, very powerful draft. You've also got a lot of flexibility with it. You can flex the Akali and Aatrox between mid and top. So, very, very powerful draft so far from Rogue. Splyce round out their comp with the Nautilus. So they get Kai'Sa Nautilus, strong 2 versus 2. This means they can start banning out bot laners, so obviously they choose to ban away Braum and Morgana. Morgana is a little bit surprising. But there we are. And then Rogue go for the Renekton and the Gragas. So they don't want to have to deal with Renekton top lane into the Aatrox. That's fine. They also think that Gragas is a good champion into the likes of Sejuani. And I also think it's good into the Akali as well. So remember that the Sylas can go mid lane into the Akali, which is also why you see the Gragas ban. So first pick comes out for Gnar, which is the answer to Aatrox, because Vizicachi doesn't play Kled apparently, and it's like it's fine, right? Typically he'd probably pick Kennen here, but after the nerfs, people apparently don't think Kennen is super strong, so they go for Gnar instead. Yeah, I haven't seen a good Gnar so far this split. Kog'Maw and Tahm Kench from Rogue. So I can see how Kog'Maw can outrange and outtrade the Kai'Sa in early levels. I could also see how you can match or even outscale the Kai'Sa. But honestly, I don't know a huge amount about this 2 versus 2. I feel like that you are conceding it by picking Tahm Kench, because you're picking it into a Nautilus. But at the end of the day, what else do they pick it into? So perhaps they pick the Tahm Kench because they want to play the Kog'Maw for a reason. I'm not entirely sure what the reason is, but they want to play Kog'Maw. And they want to provide peel and safety for the Kog'Maw. Because they already have enough engage. They have good team fighting. But Rogue is once again like gone for a very scaling option. But they have... So the thing is, right... This is something that we actually saw yesterday in the Cloud9 versus TL series. Picking scaling is fine as long as you've got early game options. And that's not to say that you have to snowball the early game, but the early game is really important right now. Very rarely do teams just handshake, sit there and farm and do nothing. When jungle camps are down and when certain levels are hit, teams are going to look to make plays. And if you draft too much scaling and you don't give your jungler any options in terms of lanes that they can look to play around, then it gives so much freedom to the enemy team to do whatever they want. Whether that be set up to secure early turret plates, steal away enemy jungle camps, set up for early drakes. Like, you need some kind of early option. Now, yes, Aatrox does lose to Gnar in the 1 versus 1. However, with Sejuani assistance, there's no reason why they can't burn a flash or look to get a kill in that lane. They have more than enough damage and crowd control between the two of them in order to find a kill. Same thing for Akali. Like, we haven't talked about the Azir pick yet, but it's very easy to force that champion out of lane, and with the combined CC and damage of this duo, you can threaten a kill there. So you can see how even though Rogue's comp is a little bit more about scaling and it's not about early game domination, the jungler has options with which they can look to leverage to play through. Now, if we look on the side of Splyce, the obvious answer for them would be bot lane, because you have very easy setup with the likes of Nautilus, who just has to land the hook, and then Sylas can follow up, and you've got more than enough damage from Kai'Sa. Also, that duo is not super mobile, and Tahm Kench is a lot easier to gank than he used to be, right? You could potentially look to play around the Gnar. However, I feel that you just want to leave the Gnar in a 1v1 as much as possible. So if you're Sylas, you kind of want to shadow the Sejuani, prevent the Sejuani from looking to gank top, and then allowing the Gnar to like snowball through top. And then Azir, again, you can look for kills there, but only once you hit level 6. So I feel like that for jungle, from Splyce, you want to look to play through bot side, whereas for Sejuani on Rogue, you want to play through top side. Meanwhile, Splyce do also have scaling options, and I feel like both comps have very strong team fighting, but I think that Rogue is a little bit easier to execute, just because Sejuani are into Aatrox are running at you, Akali diving onto the backline, but Splyce also have a lot of self-peel, because they have the Kai'Sa, they have Nautilus with a lot of crowd control, so you could see some pretty crazy team fights. I think execution will be a really big deal, but also how Azir performs as he gets out of lane. So those are my expectations for the draft. You can see that Splyce has moved away from an early game style and has gone a little bit more towards the scaling angle, which I think is better for them. And they just have to be really careful about what the Sejuani tries to do in mid and top. Yeah. Kog'Maw is a comfort pick for Woolite, okay. Kog'Maw is a counter to Kai'Sa. No. But like, I mean, I was saying that earlier, right? I can see how Kog'Maw can do well into Kai'Sa in lane. I can see it. I just can't see how in this 2 versus 2 you get priority, because Kai'Sa just has more wave clear than Kog'Maw does, and if you overstep, the Nautilus hard engages onto you and you lose a lot of HP. So that's what I'm saying. I don't think the pick is bad. I just think that you're accepting that you can't look to really play through this lane in the 2 versus 2. But I'm absolutely fine believing that Kog'Maw is a good pick into Kai'Sa. Yes. The Void versus the Void. I wouldn't say that Kog'Maw's strong versus Nautilus, though. I think the Tahm Kench makes Kog'Maw safer versus Nautilus. And I think it's important, but I don't think that... I mean, there's no reason for me to believe that Kog'Maw is like a good pick into Nautilus specifically. I don't think that you could just pick Kog'Maw if you see a Nautilus. I think you need the Tahm Kench alongside it. But they can engage, because you can engage onto the Tahm Kench. And with a Sylas there, it's really easy to set up plays. So I think it's fine. I think that's the lane that they play through. I mean, of course, Kog'Maw Tahm Kench is still very safe in its nature, but if you want to make anything happen, I would say that Splyce will look to try to gank bot. How do you feel about Splyce banning Qiyana? I think it's fine. I think they could have left it open and picked it for themselves, though. Traded Akali for Qiyana. Anyway, let's get into the game. Okay, so this is Ronnie starts bot, Xerxes starts top. So you can already tell Inspired looking to path towards top side of the map early, because he's going to do his Krugs into Raptors into full top side clear. Xerxes is going to do exact same path, except he's going to end up on the bot side of the map. So as we expected, both junglers playing much towards what we wanted them to be doing. Larson will obviously struggle early levels in this 1 versus 1, but he's going to do what he can. Aatrox gets the early push just because Aatrox has a lot of wave clear. You also want to try and push the wave early so that you can get it to bounce, because it's better for you against a range matchup. Whoa, humanoid! What's going on? So he's full health here, right? Larson gets his shroud and he starts getting trades, but still, humanoid has a health advantage here. They get vision on jungler. And he's using his range advantage still. And then all of his health just suddenly disappears here. Crazy. What the hell, humanoid? That's not supposed to happen. Holy moly. That's really bad. So now Sejuani's coming mid to just help the Akali base. That's good. So if you are a jungler, this is really smart. But again, like, great when, I don't know, Larson could have called for this, or Inspired was just aware of it. But like, because Humanoid has just based, he now comes back into lane with full HP and an extra Doran's ring. So Larson can't push this out for free without potentially killing himself. So Inspired comes to help him. This is just, you know, good teammate. And now he's going to try and push his ear under the tower so that the wave doesn't freeze under the tower. And it should actually bounce back towards the Akali. So now you can see the Silas, bot side of the map right now, looking for a potential gank. The wave is also set up in a way that the Woolite and Vander will overextend. See, so you can see, really good gank setup. Like, that TP from Finn is like, good response. Like, notice all the summoner spells that get burned here. So, Vander uses Exhaust, okay, that's fine. And then Finn comes in. So both Kobe and Noscaran force the flash, so that kind of sucks for them. Like, again, that's very much what we expected. Like, the gank doesn't get as much as they want, but it costs them a lot to invest that many resources. So I like it. And you can see now Finn is behind, so he's just doing this for the team. Helps the duo bot lane out a lot, because now with no summoners on Kobe and Noscaran, you could actually look for a gank yourself bot lane as Inspired once you get your ulti. Interesting that Noscaran actually roams towards mid here, looking for something onto Larson. Mainly because he based first. Tom Kent's going to do exactly the same thing. I'm not sure he's really going to find anything. I feel like he should be using his time to try and get some deeper vision down. Oh well, he's going to path bot and no one's going to be there. Notice how Woolite doesn't use TP, whereas Kobe does. Which means that if he gets ganked now, this is really bad for them. Okay, nice. But Woolite now has a TP advantage, which is really strong for them. It means that Rogue can look to force a lot of trades right now. And with attack speed boots, I can actually see them winning trades really easily. I know BF Sword would inherently... you would think that this gives you more damage. I mean, obviously it gives you more damage, right? But a lot of Kog'Maw's damage comes from his W. And so once he hits level 5, by having more attack speed, he gets to land the W more often. And that just does a lot of damage. So I feel like that if I'm Kog'Maw, I'd be pretty comfortable about this trade. Again, Xerxes comes bot. They intentionally overextend because they know that they have junglers support there. But no Scaran has no flash. But again, like, overall good play. You can see Splyce very... So Inspired is playing around his bot lane a lot more than I feel like he should be. He could be looking to set up a dive top, but I suppose he's not level 6 yet, so him being on the bot side of the map is not the end of the world. I don't think he was super inefficient with his pathing. Is it starting to rain? Oh, you guys might be able to hear the thunderstorm. One sec, let me close the window because you're gonna hear all this rain otherwise. Look at the bot lane difference though. Like, even though Kabe has TP'd back into lane, he's down 20 CS. Like, the guy has really struggled in the 2 versus 2. And considering Woolite is someone that's been considered the weak point of this team, Woolite has failed to punish him. Ooh, drawings. I'm not sure what's being pointed out right now. Oh, they may have been talking about how Tom Kench will look to roam mid. But I don't think he would right now. Sejuani comes bot again. Wow, they actually just... Okay, Inspired really likes playing around his bot side of the map. Like, really likes playing around his bot side of the map. Whoop! Alright. Well, that wasn't supposed to happen. Damn, Finn roams so much. It's actually insane. He doesn't play 1v1, like, at all. That's crazy. So, health difference. Whoop. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's in his shadow here. I'm pretty confident he's in his shadow, yeah, here. Nice, well played by Larson. Really good stuff. Humanoid messes up because... Give me the replay again. Oh, that's not the replay. This is the replay. So Larson is down in health, and Humanoid tries to go for an all-in. If Larson had taken another tower shot there, there's a chance. But like... It's actually crazy. In this period of time, Humanoid, he lands 1 auto with his Q, he then spawns another soldier, he then lands another auto with his Q, and then he dies. He only lands like 2 in the space of Akali doing all of that. So much mobility, and Humanoid really couldn't do anything about it. Alright, going on to them again. Silas hanging around, nothing happens. Meanwhile, wait, why did he flash that? Finn, what are you flashing? Okay. Oh, they finally get a successful kill bot lane. Big pick. Oh, we'll get a replay in a second so we can watch the whole thing. No, this is great for Splyce. Really good. They finally shut the bot lane down. They get kills onto Carbate. He closes the gap. Really, really, really big play. Really important. Off that 1v1 kill, by the way, Rogue did get the Infernal, which is pretty important. I feel like Rogue actually should have passed towards top. They should have known the swap was coming through from Splyce. No scaring, bro. No scaring, bro. Okay, listen. I need the replay from the bot thing so I can see what happened. Are we getting a replay? This is troll, though. This is Giga Troll. He doesn't have mid-prio. Top hasn't been pushed in yet. The reason why it's troll is because he can see where his members are. And based on the setup that his team has, he can't be here. Because, I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? But so you rarely know where the jungler is, right? But what you can discern, or like, so when you're entering an area of darkness, the way in which you make it safe is you generate pressure in lanes so that you can identify people catching lanes, and then you force your way into the darkness areas by utilizing more people. Does that make sense? So in this situation, Humanoid sees Larson. That's the only person you know. Now there are also question mark pings onto the Sejuani, and they're like, Sejuani could be in here. Right, so again, keep your eyes on the minimap, keep your eyes on the minimap. So they're like, oh no, they know Sejuani's here. They know Sejuani's here because they just saw her take the Scuttle Crab. So they know where the jungler is. They know where Larson is. Now they've lost sight of Larson. The pings are still coming down. Now in theory, the idea is let's collapse onto Sejuani. But that's not what's actually happening here. Norscarin doesn't sit there and think, wait, they might collapse on me. Like, there's a lot of things that you do know, and there's a lot of things that you don't know. What you do know is that your AD carry's top, your mid lane is still mid, Larson is missing. You know where Inspired is. Can anyone help you in this situation? No. No, they cannot. It's just bad. We'll let Vander push in bot and then rotate up, and then they make the swap happen. I mean, I personally think it's pretty delayed, but whatever. It's fine. Oh, we get the replay now. Oh, okay, so this is just Woolite actually messing up. Hook. He gets blown up before he can get consumed. The consume may also be on cooldown. Yep, Norscarin dies here, but it's worth because Vizichachi shows up, so they can win. But you can see, we talked about it in draft. Like, again, both comps scale, right? But they want lanes to play through. And this is why I don't agree with Inspired trying to play through bot. The reason why Finn has kills is because he's TP'd bot lane. And he's found kills. But I think it would have been better for Rogue to actually play through top or mid. I think so. It's a weird, unhealthy obsession with playing around his bot lane. Maybe he was worried about them and he just wanted to make sure they got through lane well because he had a lot of faith in both Finn and Larson. Maybe. Maybe. So what wants to happen now? So Rift Herald is the play that both teams could think about. The problem is for Rogue is that they can't gain priority mid because it's an Azir. However, Vizichachi doesn't have teleport. So one thing that both teams could do is push in a wave in bot lane, bring their top laner up, and then they can look to force. Now, you can see that Kabe has gained prio over top lane. There's already vision in favor of Splyce. The problem is their jungler is pathing bot. At this point in time, Splyce trying to fight, probably not the best idea. They're not super strong. They're not weak. Actually, Kabe's level 9. He has Stormrazor. This Kog'Maw has, well, Cutlass. No, I changed my mind. Splyce can fight. Splyce is in a really good position to play for this Rift Herald, in my opinion. Kabe's going to reset and upgrade as well, which is even better. Drake is in 45 seconds. Okay, so Splyce actually don't care about Rift Herald, and they want to play for Infernal instead. So Rogue should trade. Yep, they should go straight for it. Especially after they see Xerxes bot. Splyce need to now go straight for this. But like, they're going to be really far behind in tempo. Because this goes down. Kog'Maw bases. Kog'Maw TPs back to top. Yep. And then you use the Rift Herald. And now you're really far ahead of the play. Because you're not trading on bot tower either. And you didn't zone Finn away, which means that he gets to clear out the wave. So you don't have a wave. So you're massively behind. Now Finn, he really messes up here. He shouldn't have face checked that. He should have known that the cross map was coming. That was really done by him. But in terms of being ahead, Rogue is really far ahead. So now they get to reset and they can potentially they can catch the bot wave as well. So Kog'Maw gets all this juicy farm. Oh, okay, well, they can also get the farm to Akali. That's fine. Yep. And it's all because Splyce put their focus on going for Infernal instead of playing for Rift Herald. I think that they could have gone for Rift Herald if you ask me. They wanted a reset for some reason. You can see here, like they reset. I don't know if they needed to do this. I'm just trying to think. Why would they avoid a Rift Herald? Are they afraid of Sejuani ulti? Finn doesn't have TP, so he can't join. But notice how, again, he constantly looks to move in river. Like, they know. They know this is happening. I don't know. I feel like Splyce is a little lost. Like, Xerxes just hanging around, like... I don't know. I mean, great utilization of the Rift Herald from Rogue, in my opinion. But again, it's like, Splyce, what are you doing? I often wonder if they have the conversations that I just had, which was that, okay, what should we be doing now? How do we play for whatever? I don't know. Were they sitting there saying, I think we should play for Rift Herald? Because, I mean, like, they're strong. I don't think that they would just straight up lose. I mean, they might lose now. So, again, what's the next play? Let's think about it. Drake spawns in 3.5 minutes. That's an easy one. Both teams want mid tower. That's another easy one. But in an ideal world, they want to play towards these side lane towers. Now, due to Splyce resetting on the map in a slightly awkward manner, and what I mean by that is, do you notice how Vizicachi is pushed out top and then Kobe is going top as well? This means the Rogue get free access to bot. Because Finn, whose TP is about to spawn... Well, actually, considering Kobe already has his TP, like, it's not the end of the world. But because you've got your AD carry mid... Actually, no, I'm talking out my ass right now. Akali reaches the wave bot first, that's why. Okay. I knew there was a reason. So because Akali gets the bot wave first... it gives her access into the river, which then in turn gives Rogue access to the river. Yeah. So you can see Vizicachi's here. Larson gets to move first. Finn also pushes out top. He should now rotate down with his team. Back to mid lane they go. Couple ult used there, but not the end of the world. Now look at Finn, he should threaten a dive here. Oh, really well done by Rogue. This is just like good basic League of Legends, man. Just easy and clean. Easy and clean. So notice how the Kai'Sa is a little paranoid about overextending top. Even though you have full information on where everyone is. She's afraid of a potential flank TP, so she waits for the wave to come to her. Right? So Kobe catches this wave. This gives time for Finn to roam, but also remember that a Rogue have priority over bot river, because again, Larson got to the bot wave first, because Vizicachi was pushing out the top wave. So they make this play happen, they get vision on Xerxes, they know where he is. Because they know that two people are bot, they actually rotate immediately back around to mid. And they also have Finn on his way. So Finn walks past a ward, he gets spotted. Which immediately forces Norscaran and Humanoid off. It's just good, like, shuffling of your pieces on the board. And look at how much of the tower that they get. Just very clean. Very simple. There's nothing, like, mind-blowing in any of this. This is, like, very textbook. But you wouldn't expect this from a team like Rogue. And it's actually better than a lot of teams on the planet. This is also why when analysts make jokes about Rogue beating other top teams, part of it is because they're not actually joking. And it's because like these basics are much better understood by Rogue compared to a lot of other top teams in other regions. But that's a really good demonstration of just like how to move your pieces on the board, as you would call it, macro, I suppose. I don't really like the word macro, but that's effectively what that is. Just really good map movements. Really, really good. So now again, they push out top, but now they want to reset. So they don't collapse this time. They go back to base. The Akali and the Aatrox base at the same time. Oh, but because they got this deep vision, they actually get to see everything. So they know they can stay because they see the Kai'Sa, they see top, and then they see bot. So all the information they have, they secure this tower for free because they stick around. Maybe Splyce thought they were resetting. Now the reset is obviously delayed, and Norscarin gets out on the map first, so he can get all this vision down, which is great for him. So mid laner resets. Kai'Sa gonna reset, pick up the Rage Blade. Big item. TP's bot. Okay. Now they try to attack the side. Dangerous, because you don't have mid priority. But Rogue now set up for the Drake. Notice how they don't overcommit. They have some solid vision, but they're focusing on getting mid prio. Ooh, and then Larson TP's top to find the kill onto Vizicachi. Now this does concede prio over Drake, but it means you can go for Baron. Oh my word. And you take out the front line as well. Holy moly, this is actually big brain. What the hell? So Akali's just sitting in fog of war. The expectation from Splyce is that she's bot. So Xerxes comes in to set up a lane gank. But where do they get vision on where Xerxes is? There, that's where they get vision on it. They see Xerxes go over the wall, so they know he's bot side of the map. And of course, because they pushed in mid, they get to go back to mid lane. So they know that Xerxes is bot side, and that they get to make a faster route back towards mid. So at this point, they're already talking about a potential go for Baron. And then they're like, well, how do we make the play happen? Well, we gotta kill Vizicachi. So the ward is already there, sitting in the lane. They set up the flank. They push in mid once again, and 3 members of bot. So they get the kill, and they immediately go to Baron. And because it's Cogmore, they're going to take this super quick. And Splyce are way too slow to react. But if nothing else, they can turn and fight. Holy moly. That was so big brain. Alright, Finn. Oh, okay. Finn makes some dumb mistakes. He's done a bunch of dumb mistakes throughout this series. But this is actually just so big brain. Like, so again, I'm gonna reiterate something that Veteran says a lot, which is that Rogue are very good at reading the map state. And this is a prime example. This is a perfect example. Their goal here is to push out mid, gain vision control, and either go for Drake or the bot tower. Okay? They get information on where Xerxes is. They also probably spot out Norscarin, right? So they know where Cobb is because they saw him on the light wave. They know where Norscarin is because they spotted him in the rotation, and they know where Xerxes is. So 3 people have been spotted bot. They know where Humanoid is because he's catching mid-wave. So Splyce sit there and think, okay, they're going to start Drake. Let's see if we can fight for it. Humanoid has gone for blue buff, while Corbe, Norscarin, and Xerxes are trying to set up a pick onto Larson, who's bot. He doesn't fall for it. Instead, but the thing is, just with that information, Rogue is already sitting there thinking to themselves, we can make a play top. We can actually, we can go for Baron. Because they have access to mid first, so they go to mid lane, they push out that wave super quick, and then everything happens. This is so good. Holy moly. This was insane. Like, sure, they don't get the Baron. They don't kill it in time. But they turn and fight. And they get a huge team fight win. Which is still great for them. They kill both carries, and then, Finn just backs on a ward, which is just... I mean, it's just unlucky. Get the TP out from Chachi, and now they need to run, but... Splyce aren't going to do this, Baron. Ender saying that that's a big troll from Vizicachi. I mean, to a degree, yeah, but even so, even if Chachi lives there, they probably can't do Baron. So sure, they do end up punishing Vizicachi. 27, 23. Vizichachi catches the wave. He doesn't check the brush. And he thinks because he sees everyone committing bot, and because he doesn't expect a TP flank, he thinks he's fine in this situation. It's all because he doesn't expect that ward to be there. Yeah. The moral of the story is check your brushes, kids. But still, I'm really impressed by this. I think this is really cool from Rogue. Just the ability to like see this and then set up the play and then make it happen. Yeah, but he thinks he's safe because he also knows that the enemy team is bot. Like, he sees them all. He knows what's happening. He's like, there's 3 members bot. That 3-man squad isn't going to collapse on me. And how am I going to die? Who's going to kill me? I know where Akali is. I know where the 3-man squad is. Like, he could have maybe been collapsed on by the Tahm Kench ultimate. Which is the other thing you need to take into consideration. But you can't sit there and say that that ward is like super standard, right? This one. This isn't to be expected. Yeah, I mean, the Tahm Kench is the bigger deal, right? I'm not disagreeing with you that he doesn't overextend, because Tahm Kench could have set up the flank. But then, even if he does, they can't, like, them going for the Baron doesn't happen. I think the fact that the TP play happens on the ward is super good. But, like, that's not the point. The bigger point here is that Rogue recognize an opportunity, and they very quickly turn it into this big plan where they get to extend a pretty big lead. And that's the thing that should be appreciated here. Even if Vizichachi made a mistake, sure. The bigger, more important thing is the fact that Rogue saw all of this and almost seamlessly made it all happen. And then Vizichachi flashes again there. And I think that warrants praise. Like, that was really cool. Alright, and then Noskarian doing what he's often done this series. I don't know, bro. I mean, Splyce are not having a great series, I'll be honest. Humanoid died 1v1. Xerxes finding ganks, but even then, like, Chachi's overextending in side lanes. Splyce have not looked good in this series. But I do think Rogue has played pretty well. The first game, I was like, Rogue just played like... Splyce just played like garbage. This series, I'm like, oh my god, Rogue will beat SKT. Bang. Look at that flank from Finn. Man, Finn does this all the time. Props to Finn. He's like, fuck bot wave. I'm grouping, team. He's a team player. That's what Finn is. Yeah, he doesn't give a shit about his lane. He doesn't care about anything else. He's like, I'm coming to help my squad out. Bang. Why does this mid fight even happen? I don't have enough setup. So for some reason they're sieging mid lane as 4. Nara is pushing bot. To be fair, expectations here is that Rogue will go and catch their side lanes. But they're not. But I don't know why they're not. So a team fight is happening mid lane. Bear in mind, that gold gap is a little deceptive. Well, actually it's not. I just think that... Now they go for Baron. Oh. You guys all just got a sneak peek at my ready check segment though. I'm going to be talking about Rogue's ability to read the map state. And they slaughter them all. I don't know. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough setup, so because there was a replay in the way, I didn't know what happened. So I only get to see this part of the fight. So I'm not really sure why Splyce is sieging. I don't know if it's a good or bad decision in the end. Rogue find a way. So now they go back to their side lanes and they push them out. Notice here, oh, this is great. This is great. Here, look at this. See how they push in mid and then they move into the enemy jungle. Like, so many teams don't do this. It's like, the only way you're going to siege onto these towers is if you gain control over this. So you've got to utilize the pressure that you have in order to threaten the enemy jungle. So now they're trying to get vision towards bot side because they want to play towards this tower. Because it's the last one. So I'm actually not sure why they were playing towards bot for top vision. Because bot tower makes way more sense. So I was trolling. In any case. So now they're here. And now look at all that farm that's going to waste in the mid lane. Now if they wanted to be optimal, they'd try and like maximize all their waves crashing at the same time. They try to get a kill onto Larson. That's the best thing you can do if you're Splyce, to be honest. Just attack one of the sides. Meanwhile, Silas dies. How does he even die? Oh. Well, it just goes beast mode. Bleh, 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 bleh. I reckon you can make a cool rap out of Cogmore's sound effects. And look at how efficiently they end of a single Baron buff. Bro, Rogue is good. I mean, Splyce definitely not having a great series. But like, okay, so game one, Splyce lost. Okay? I think Splyce just lost that game. But game 2, Rogue smashed Splyce. It wasn't even close. Rogue just straight up outperformed Splyce. Now, admittedly, the early game planning, I don't like. I'm not a fan of Inspired constantly playing around his bot lane. I think he should play more around Finn. He should definitely try and play more around Larson. And if Larson hadn't found that solo kill onto the Azir, them getting early priority around bot river and stuff and getting that early Infernal definitely wouldn't have been a thing. So, like, I'm not going to sit there and say that their early game was flawless, but their mid game, Rogue have a great mid game. Bellissimo. Fantastic. Pretty well played. Yes. So if you want to beat Rogue, the best way to shut them down is through early. Which is why, like, when I'm watching this, I'm like, there's no way they beat Fnatic and G2. Can they beat Schalke? Maybe. It depends on how much you value Schalke's early game planning. And how well they can play through that early game plan. Because we saw this game, Splyce actually sit with an early game lead. We saw them actually successfully play through their bot lane. And the only reason why things didn't go as perfectly was because Finn was sacrificing his own lane in order to set up ganks bot side of the map. But ultimately, Splyce did play the early game better than Rogue did. But then, of course, a couple of blunders happened, like Humanoid dying 1v1. And then that Baron fight happens. And that really like swings the game open for Rogue because they get a bunch of kills, and even though the gold gap isn't huge, like they get some of those core items which make their team fighting that much stronger. So then they find another fight in the mid lane. That was cool. I enjoyed that. Alright, well, that'll do it for game 2. We're going to jump over to game 3 now. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Head over to game 3 to see the game-ending conclusion of this series.